Hello viewers, in this session you will learn one of the most popular plays, Medea, written by Euripides. The play was awarded the third prize at Dionysia, a platform for Greek classical dramatists. It was a nihilistic and disturbing play for its portrayal of character Medea, who kills her own children to take revenge upon her husband. So, let us look at Euripides' Medea as a typical Greek tragedy. A note on the author first. Euripides was an intellectual product of the golden age of Athens. He was born in 484 BC in Athens, where he lived most of his life and contributed to Greek literature. The golden age of Athens was a creative period for political, economical and cultural activities. During the same age, Greek drama flourished and reached its peak. In his childhood, Euripides saw the repulsion of the Persian invasions and political domination of Athens over the Mediterranean world, which has certain influence on his works. Euripides wrote 92 plays, of which 17 survive to this date. This is a much greater number when compared to other classical playwrights. Euripides as a dramatist was quite controversial in his lifetime. Aristotle criticized him as the most tragic of poets, who was confused while handling the plot of his plays and the heroic nature of the protagonists. As a matter of fact, he was never understood in his lifetime. His plays are the evidence of his simplicity of writing dialogues and mixing together the tragic and comic elements. He was the follower of natural speech pattern, which initiated the way for dramatic realism. The surviving tragedies of Euripides are Now, these are the works he charted during his lifetime. Euripides was known for his immense contribution to the field of Greek tragedies. He wrote a number of plays and also added intrigue therein. Intrigue is complicated in Greek tragedies by the constant presence of the chorus. He also created love drama, which is a revolutionary step in the field of literature. Such a great dramatist died in Macedonia in 406 BC, leaving a legacy of some controversial steps in writing plays by introducing some notions which have had a lasting effect on the world of drama. Medea is a Greek tragedy of a married couple. Medea, princess of Colchis, marries the hero of the Golden Fleece and is blessed with 2 sons. The entry of another woman, Colchis, princess of Corinth, destroys their conjugal life. Medea, a monstrous lady, decides to punish her husband and thinks that Colchis and Jason are responsible for the disintegration of her marriage. She takes refuge at the place of the king of Athens and plots against Colchis and Jason. Some favorable circumstances make her efforts successful and she gets rid of Colchis and her father Creon, the king of Corinth. Afterwards, she teaches a lesson to Jason by killing their 2 sons and flees along with their dead bodies in a chariot drawn by dragons. This is the tragedy of a father, mother and children. Similarly, it is the tragedy of Princess Glossy and her father Creon, who lose their lives for no fault of theirs. A dispute between husband and wife complicates the matter to such an extent that the mother becomes monstrous and kills her own children. Nothing can be more terrible than the dramatization of this scene in the play. At the end, Jason is left alone and deserted, repenting for the whole of his life the mistakes he committed. From the structural point of view, Euripides does not follow classical Greek norms and of course Aristotle's concept of tragedy in this play. The classical tragedies were written within a definite structural framework. The characters of Greek classical tragedy are: the plot should have unity of time, space and action. The protagonist should belong to high strata of the society. The protagonist should have a tragic flaw that becomes the cause of their fall and suffering. The protagonist should struggle, which is the essence of tragedy, for cathartic effects, and the role of man in the universe should be the theme of the play. Interestingly, Euripides' Medea does not follow any classical norms of writing plays. Hence, he was attacked by Aristotle and some other contemporaries also. From the structural point of view, Euripides disregarded classical concepts of drama. The play Medea does not have division into acts and scenes, which is strictly expected according to classical norms. The plot of the play is loosely constructed. The unity of time, place and action are also exercised as per needs of the story. The play has 1271 lines. It has a prologue that goes into 130 lines, which continues with paradox of chorus, 6 episodes and 6 stasimons, simultaneously comprising the major action of the play. The play ends with an epilogue by Medea's successful attempt to reveal the dead children to her husband and her flight to Athens. Medea is the princess of Colchis and wife of Jason, the hero of the Golden Fleece. Medea is an intelligent, powerful but ruthless woman of passion and rage. Medea has been instrumental in making Jason the hero of Golden Fleece. She inspired and encouraged him to achieve his goal. For the sake of Jason, Medea murdered her own brother and permanently lost her mother's place. Since then, she is not allowed to go back to her parents. In course of time, situations change and Jason betrays Medea and deserts her to suffer alone along with their 2 sons. Her ruthless nature makes her monstrous and she kills her enemies like Glossy, King Creon, and also murders her 2 sons to just take revenge on Jason for misdeeds. She takes her revenge, but at the cost of losing all her dear ones. Another character who plays a prominent role in the play is Jason. Jason, the son of Aeson, is the hero of Golden Fleece and the leader of Argonauts. He meets Medea during his endeavors for the Golden Fleece. Glossy, the princess of Creon, gets close to him, and this results in breakup between Jason and Medea. His close association and marriage with Glossy disturbs Medea deeply. Creon, Glossy and Jason force Medea to leave their estate along with their two sons. The desertion makes Medea more vengeful, and she successfully plots against Glossy and Creon. She kills both of her sons to punish Jason. At the end of the play, Jason appears helpless, begs his wife Medea to give him the dead bodies of the sons for the last rites. She denies all in order to make him realize his misdeeds and injustice done to her. The Greek chorus is very significant and plays an important role in the play. There is a recurrence of the chorus of Corinthian women in the play. Let's look at the role they play in the text. The wise women of Creon form the chorus for this play. They are the witness of many just and unjust events which take place in the state. Being women, they have sympathy for Medea and worry about her and her children. They also condemn Medea for being monstrous and terrible in her responses. From the structural point of view, the chorus plays an important role. There are 7 appearances of the chorus in the play. Now let us get to know Creon a little deeply. Creon is the king of Corinth, father of Princess Glossy and father-in-law of Jason. He is a kind-hearted man. He forces Medea to leave the state in order to avoid future problems which may be created by her for his family. Medea's request to allow her to stay for one more day proves to be more dear to Creon and his family. Revengeful Medea manipulates and acts against her rivals and her husbands. In an effort to save his daughter from the flames of the cursed gown, Creon pays the price for his nobility and kindness. Let's get to know Glossy a little more. Glossy is the princess of Corinth and the daughter of King Creon. She loves Jason and marries him. It results in hurting the first wife of Jason, Medea, who takes revenge for injustice that happened to her. Medea requests King Creon and Glossy to allow her to stay for one more day in their state. When they respect the request, Medea offers a gown to Glossy as a token of appreciation. As soon as Glossy puts on the cursed gown, her body catches fire and she dies along with her father, who tries to save her life from the flames. Another significant character is that of Aegeus. Aegeus is the king of Athens, a kind, noble, handsome man. He trusts Medea and her promise to help him to get rid of his infertility. In return, Aegeus promises her a safe passage and refuge in Athens. He is unaware of her treacherous and monstrous plans. The working class in the play are equally interesting. Let's begin with the nurse, the character of the nurse. The play opens with a prologue in which 2 characters come first, nurse and the tutor. The dialogue between the nurse and the tutor reveals their concern and worry for Medea and her children. She is a slave and a servant to Medea and her children. She is loyal to the mistress and condemns Jason's decision to desert Medea and their sons. Like most plays, there is a messenger in this play too. The messenger has only one appearance in the play. He brings the news of deaths of Princess Glossy and King Creon. It would be ideal for us to stop at this point and quickly look through the summary of Medea. In Greek tragedies, it was a common practice to use myths and legendary stories for writing plays. Euripides was also one of the dramatists who used various resources around him for writing plays. Medea is one such play which is based on ancient myths. It was first enacted in 431 BC. The success of the play lies in its emotional appeal and flight of immoral passion that bothers the protagonist Medea, who kills her own children to take revenge upon her husband. The story of the play is shocking and has a powerful emotional appeal. Medea is a story of the princess of Colchis who marries the hero of the Golden Fleece, Jason. The marriage between the two proves to be a fatal one that leads Medea to be revengeful and monstrous. The clash between the two results in Jason's second marriage with Glauce, daughter of Creon, the king of Corinth. Once the settlements are done, King Creon banishes Medea and her two sons from the state. Medea is now completely deserted by her husband, but she is determined to take a bloody revenge upon her husband and others who are responsible for her misery. Medea manages to convince King Creon to allow her to stay in his state for one more day. Just out of pity for all her children, he allows them to stay back for a day. It gives Medea enough time to plot against the culprits. Very diplomatically, she does not mention that she is going to kill a few of her rivals. Then Medea handles the situation in a different way with the support of King Aegeus. She makes Jason believe that she is no more against his second marriage. She requests Glauce to allow her two sons to stay back in Corinth. She successfully convinces Jason and Glauce both and feels that she has won half the battle. To please Glauce and Jason, she offers a gown to Glauce and a golden crown to Jason. In fact, the gown offered to her is a cursed one. As soon as Glauce puts on the gown, her body starts burning. King Creon notices daughter burning in flames. He tries to cover her body and dies along with Glauce. Now Medea concentrates on Jason and she wants to teach him a final lesson. With a view to punish Jason, a horrible idea comes to her mind. She decides to kill her two sons in order to devastate his life. Of course, the idea is terrible and difficult for a mother to implement. Her motherly affections are the major obstacle in the way. Her monstrous mind ignites her with this idea and she drags both the sons into house and kills them with a sword. Jason comes in too late to save his children from the hideous mother. He implores her forgiveness and expresses his regret for his deeds. Jason curses his wife and gets the same in return. Both blame each other for the loss of children and the breakup of their marriage. He requests her to hand over the dead bodies of his sons for the last rites, but she denies him even this satisfaction. Medea ascends into the sky in a chariot drawn by the dragons along with the corpses of her sons with a sense of pride and triumph. What are the themes which grip this particular play? Let's have a look at them. Theme of revenge. The theme of revenge is the core of the play Medea. It is the basic principle on which the entire action of the play moves, and it gives us a shock when Medea murders her own sons just to take revenge upon her husband. The conjugal life of Medea and Jason goes on well as long as there was no third person in between them. The entry of Princess Glossy makes her life full of suffering and agony. Her lonely life and dark future makes her think of revenge, and she executes her plan by killing Glossy and in due course King Creon. Finally, she murders her own sons in order to punish her husband. Probably this is a unique example in which we find that a mother murders her own sons just to take revenge upon her husband. Here, revenge becomes more important than her sons and other relations. Another theme which runs parallel in this play is that of disintegration of marriage. Live and let others live is the fundamental principle of this cooperative world. Here in this play, the principle is totally shattered. Medea is possessive about her husband and cannot think of sharing him with anyone. Glossy loves Jason and wants to marry him at any cost and attains him in due course. That makes Medea jealous of Glossy. Medea thinks that Glossy is responsible for the disintegration of her marriage with Jason. Medea does not believe this and becomes extremely possessive about Jason. Since Jason deserts her along with their two sons, she starts thinking of revenge. Medea could not live happy conjugal life with Jason since the arrival of Glossy in between them. Medea does not allow Glossy and Jason to enjoy marital life only because she and her children are deprived of this right. Here we find the disintegration of marriage between Jason, Medea and Jason, Glossy as well. Another theme which you might have noted almost without me telling you is that theme of betrayal. The theme of betrayal is one of the major themes in this play. Jason's betrayal is the cause of series of betrayals in the play. Jason deceives Medea and marries Glossy. In fact, he knows the temperament of Medea and her possessiveness towards him. Even then, he dares to flirt with Glossy and destroys the life of all the members of his family. Medea, to avenge the injustice done to her, betrays King Aegeus and does not reveal anything of the plot against King Creon, Glossy and Jason. Similarly, she betrays Glossy by offering her a cursed gown which burns her severely, resulting in her death along with her father. Then Medea murders her own sons, which is the most severe betrayal in this play. The mother is considered to be the most trustworthy person in the world, but Medea betrays both of the sons by killing them with a sword. A significant theme of love and hate will be explored in the next few minutes. Love and hate are the two sides of the same coin. The extreme love of an individual may convert itself into hatred due to certain reasons. In this play, we find the same. Medea and Jason, a loving couple, have great love and passion for each other. This gets converted once the third person, Princess Glossy, enters the life of Jason and destroys the marriage. Possessive Medea cannot tolerate it and develops hatred for Jason and jealousy for Glossy. This love and hate relationship is the major theme of the play. King Creon's paternal love for his daughter, Princess Glossy, Medea's love for Jason and vice versa, Glossy's love for Jason and vice versa are the major elements of love in this play. The elements of hatred can be found after certain developments in conjugal life of Medea and Jason. The passionate love of Medea for Jason converts to ruthless hatred for him that makes her perform monstrous activities. She takes an extreme stand when she develops hatred for her own children and also kills them in order to punish her husband. Another theme, which possibly is the greatest in here, that of passion and rage. Medea is a passionate woman who loves Jason deeply and makes all possible efforts to win him as her husband. Her love and ruthless acts show her passion for him. She attains the height of passion for him and rage as well. In course of time, the situations change when she is betrayed by Jason, which makes her revengeful. Her anger for Jason becomes more fatal than she thinks, and she goes to the extreme when she kills her own sons in order to punish her husband. The play is the best example of the elements of passion and rage for the person for whom she loves deeply. I hope you have enjoyed Euripides' tragedy Medea. It is the revenge of a wife, betrayal of sons by the mother, and the betrayal of Aegis and Creon by Medea, who was trusted with some sympathy and pity. The play ends with a serious note that revenge can transform a living, loving mother into a murderous and treacherous woman. I hope you enjoyed this session on Euripides' Medea. I will see you in another session with the next part of this program, which will bring forth Aeschylus' drama Agamemnon. Thank you for listening to me.